Look at all these amazing people. Finance gurus, marketing gurus, life gurus, artists, stock traders, designers. The world is exploding with amazing people doing amazing things. So what did my friends at Creator Club do about that? They went and stalked all of them. And invited these creators and mentors to host live streams where they share their experiences and knowledge with you, from branding to stocks or even business to design. And once you tune in, they're not going to ask you to hit subscribe, like, comment, share. No, they're just going to invite you to join their club. So what happens inside the club? You see, matching algorithms help you connect with other like-minded folks in the community.
Your business is not important. Your brand is.
Wait. Have you ever wanted to spend some exclusive one-on-one time with these content creators and mentors? You can do this by buying tokens. Think of them as tickets that can be bought by placing a bid at a live auction. And once you get your hands on one of these, you can use it to get exclusive access to one-on-ones, AMAs, private groups, and much more. Now let's say you don't redeem these tokens. That's okay. You can sell them. Yeah. These tokens, they're limited. Which means if someone else wants exclusive access to these creators and mentors, just sell it to them. Like this. Now this is the future of social professional networks, where mentors, creators, and you grow together. You're invited.
Hello. How is everyone doing today? Great. So, we're back with another live stream, right? Thank you so much for joining in episode number 2. So let's quickly check my creator ka chat. Chat pe kya kar rahe hain? Chatting. Hi, says Pooja. Vivan says excited. What the fuck are you excited about? Tell me, what is it that you're excited about? Tell me something specific that I can add value to. We have Amer. Hello. ये हाय हेलो के ज़्यादा मेरे को कुछ अच्छा बताओ, कुछ बोलो कि आज क्या बात करें. How to make money, right? So Vivan, right, who is also founder of Creator, who just raised a round of big money, is asking me how to make money. तो गलत हो गया ना ये? No, but I mean, he's a great friend. I'm just taking his case, but we're just waiting for everyone to join in. Thanks, everyone. Keep coming in. And we have Ankit, we have Pooja, we have Abhishek, we have Parul. Excellent, guys. Keep this rolling in. Let's see if we can get some music rolling. What do you guys say? But before that, I think let me quickly introduce to you the session. So we're here on this series called The Bold Start, right? I want to show you something very cool before I start, right? Because I programmed this, so just look at this, huh? It's fun. You see, I'm here, I'm right in the center. Let me move to the side. See? So there's this little program that NVIDIA does which will automatically resize my camera in case I go too out of frame. Because last time that was a complaint, but it doesn't seem to be working now, huh? See, it fails me when I want to show off. But as we're waiting for people to join in, we have Tarun also coming in who says, hi Vanshaj. Thanks everyone for joining in. So let's get started, right? Shall we get started? We're live on Instagram. We're also live on LinkedIn at the Creator page. But most importantly, we're live on creator.club. That's where we fucking want to see you. That's exactly where you need to join. It's the fastest, quickest live stream. That's where all the engagement is. All the other platforms are, well, because we have to. So, moving on, right? What are we talking about today? Positioning and marketing your creative business, right? So, before we begin with this session, for those of you who didn't attend my last session, no big deal, no massive value missed, right? Most of it was internet knowledge, but we've been talking specifically on how to, shift your mindset towards becoming a businessman, right? Dhanda kaise karne ka, how to take your skill and essentially transform that into a business, how to think about it like that, and that's essentially what the session was last week. But today we're going to kind of get slightly advanced. So this is like step number 1 after you've thought ki chalo business to karna hai, I want to do something with my life, I have a skill, I'm an artist, illustrator, designer, marketer, whatever the fuck. I want to do something where I make money, I'm my own boss, I make the rules, right? When these are the kind of thoughts that come into your mind and you're ready to start your business, you need to somewhere have an idea ki yaar, how do we position this business, right? How do we market this business? And today that's what we're going to talk about. So we're just waiting and seeing and waiting for people to come in and join in. Hi Nitin, hi Pranav. Pranav's also the winner of the quiz from last week, but since I know him and he knows me, I thought it wouldn't be fair to, really give him the prize. But because I had some tech issues, Pranav, I'm really sorry I couldn't get you live on today's session, but I promise to do that the week next. It's just been a horrible week, guys. Quickly tell me in the comments how your week was, right? Let's go. Tell me in the comments what your week was looking like, right? Everyone's been, I think, just jailed at home with curfew. Yeah? So, quickly tell me in the comments what's been your week like? How stressed have you been? Has it been chill? Has it been fun? I'm waiting to see. And the problem is I'm actually on creator comments. So if you're putting comments on Instagram now, then do one thing, switch over to creator.club, join my session, because that's where I'll read your comments. Insta पे जो भी comment है ना अपन ignore मारते हैं, वो सिर्फ reach के लिए. So comments on Instagram, comments on LinkedIn are not in front of me, hence I can't respond to them. So come on over to creator.club and that's where all the action is. That's where all the masti is, right? So coming back, positioning and marketing your creative business. Let's begin today's session, because another thing that I was told by Creator is कि 35 minutes के बाद ना लोग बोर हो जाते हैं, तो मेरे पास अभी और बचे हैं 25 मिनट, तो शुरू करते हैं. So as always, we always do a quiz, right? So at the end of this session, exactly in about 25 minutes or so, we're going to do today's totally random quiz, right? I mean, last week I was doing I was doing a whole, business mindset quiz, which I thought was very cool, very funny. आधे लोग आंसर ही नहीं कर पाए. So today I thought, fuck it ना, Bonvita quiz contest वाला एक random quiz करेंगे, where there are going to be absolutely random questions. There's no way that you could have guessed these. I am not going to be speaking about these questions in my session. It's totally random, which means whoever wins, 1 out of luck, or their general knowledge is just next level. So I want all of you to go down to slido.com, punch in the hashtag bold, and you'll be able to join my event. I see lots of people have already come in, lots of people have already joined in. We have Rutuja, Puneet, Kirti, Sindhura, Mehak, Supreet, Anju, Ishita, Pranav, Ajay, F, FU2. We have T. Great. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this on. So as and when people join, I'm going to keep telling them, come in, join the quiz, stay till the end. I mean, this is how we build retention ना यार, नहीं तो फायदा क्या हुआ, है ना? तो समझ लो, सब क्रिएटिव लोग हैं, सब धंधे वाले हैं, सब मार्केटिंग वाले हैं, समझ लो क्यों करना है, कैसे कर रहे हैं. And now, having said that, let's go back to my presentation. Keep joining slido.com #bold. We're going to do just one quiz. एक ही quiz करेंगे. 5 या 6 सवाल हैं, 30 seconds each. If you're on Instagram or you're on LinkedIn, the quiz is not streamed to you real time, which means by the time you get to see it, the quiz is over, because we're doing a 30-second delay on LinkedIn and Instagram. We want all the action here on Creator. So go ahead, go to creator.club, make a quick account, find my session, join in, and you'll be able to see this real time, right? Because it's the fastest on Creator. When I start the quiz, each question gets 30 seconds. So come on in and join in. Now that I have finished my 10-12 minute mark, which is usually the time people take to join in, I think now it makes sense कि थोड़ा काम का बात करें, right? So having said that, let me do one thing. Let's move ahead with what is going to be today's session. Let's get serious, right? Meanwhile, keep pumping things in the comments, hit fire emojis, hit whatever else emojis. If you don't like what I'm saying, let me know, so I'll stop talking, or maybe I'll change my dialogue. But moving ahead, how do we position or market our business, right? I'd love to know in the comments how many of you are young creative entrepreneurs looking to start your business, and we'll take it from there. So point number 1, check your resources and find your strengths, right? Now why I say this is, early on at the very beginning of, you know, when you literally haven't even registered your company, you're just out there, you're trying to kind of, you know, figure out ki kare kya, what services to give people. Oh, I'm a designer, I can do a little bit of graphic design. Oh, but I can do brochure design also. मैं branding भी कर सकती हूँ. I can also do a website, right? I'm very good at UI UX design. Now the thing is that each of these you need to realize are broader skills, right? Graphic design is something that's good to know. It's good to know the principles of it, but however, I feel graphic design alone does not solve the problem, right? You need to use graphic design as a tool to solve a problem. So the first bit is to figure out, saying, hey, what are your strengths? Fuck what the market is doing. Fuck at this point what is in demand, what clients are asking for, because you're not going to try at this point to go and offer services to clients which is not your strength. That's the, I mean, it's kind of almost stupid, right? To kind of say, no, I think there's a lot of demand for this, so I'm skilled in, you know, graphic design and branding and so on and so, but let me go open a UX agency, right? And then hell breaks loose. Or we say, hey, I think a lot of people need a presence business website. Let me start developing websites, you know, side mein PHP, WordPress, jo bhi hai seekh lenge. But the thing is that you can do this, but don't start with it. Don't start with the entire gamut. Don't start with offering too many sources. I want you to figure out what is it that you are really, really good at, right? Now, when it came to me, for me, it was film, right? That was one thing I thought I was really, really, really good at. But that's not when I started my business. When I started my business, I was at a startup. And what I realized was I was really, really good at kind of figuring out what a brand should do next, how to talk to people, because this is what essentially filmmaking taught me. And then while I was working at a startup, I was further working on their social media, on their videos, on their communication. We were able to test each day, and I realized that through my graphic design knowledge in film, I was able to send a message to people, right, which was helping them respond in a way. And hence I was like, oh, maybe branding could be a great thing to do. But I've also learned a little bit of UI UX design, so maybe we should do that too. So when we started The Bold, we made the biggest mistake of kind of trying to do everything. And I'll tell you the truth, guys, when you don't find this strength and stick to it, you end up doing shit for a really, really long time, right? I know at The Bold, I spent 5 years doing things I didn't like doing or weren't particularly my strengths, and business wasn't great either. Like, we were making money, we were spending it, I had no money to myself, right? I, in the middle of, after 4 years, ran away, literally ran away. I took a bank loan, ran away to Europe to do a trip because I just couldn't take it anymore. And this is when I realized कि यार पहले ही कर लेते तो बहुत ही अच्छा होता. Now, I'm trying to kind of give you some of these examples as to when we tried to do everything, we did nothing really, really well, right? Versus if I had said, hey, filmmaking is my core, and my then co-founder was this kick-ass brand designer named Sim, right? Had we just stuck to it, right? Maybe picked up work along the line if it came, but really positioned ourselves as that rather than a, overall creative agency, I think we would have done a lot better, a lot faster. Now, that's something I'm very, very keen on saying, hey, recognize what your strengths are and figure out what are the resources available to you, which friends are willing to help you, right? Who are your ex-colleagues or ex-bosses? Get recommendations from them, right? Try and speak to them on how you can better serve businesses. They're really out there to help you in case you were earlier in a job. So find these resources, speak to other businesses, speak to other competitors, and try and find out if they'd be willing to collaborate, because then you'll be able to understand saying, hey, these are capabilities that I have within myself and my team and my larger network. It just gives you a really confident step to start on. But if you worry about what the market is doing or kya suna hai fir, gone. Anyways, moving on to my next point. Establish reference points. What do we mean by establish reference points, right? Like, you kind of want people who visit your website or your profile or your LinkedIn, wherever, right? You need to be able to very effectively and clearly let them know what is it that you do and at what level you do it and how can they compare you to others, right? Now, what I mean by that is, let's take an example for a car. Let's say, Tata Nano, right? Now, okay, let's not take Tata Nano. Let's take another car. Give me a name of a car in the chat, guys. Let me see who comes up with a, you know what? People have been chatting, but I've not scrolled down to the chat only, so I can't read anything. Wow. How stupid. Why does this chat not scroll down? मेरे को तो लगा मैं कोई chat ही नहीं कर रहा है मेरे साथ. So, Pranav saying Maruti 800. Give me more of a sedan, guys. Sedan. Use, चलो यार, कोई भी पकड़ लेते. Let's pick, Tata Indica. Not a sedan, not a this one, but let's say Tata Indica, right? It has a reference point. When someone goes to Tata in general to buy most of their, general cars, you have an idea of what it's going to cost. Is it luxury? Is it something I'm going to be able to afford? Is it great for driving on the road or driving on the mountains? You have some sense of an idea without actually having to ask for the final price or the use case of, the car. you're somewhere able to relate to saying कि नहीं यार ये मेरे बजट में मतलब मेरे को 10-15 के बीच में आ जाना चाहिए, इतना माइलेज शायद ये दे पाएगा, तो इस it may be an option for me to even go to the showroom and actually ask what these details are. Because every time a client is searching, they're looking for specialists, right? Secondly, they want to make sure that you are the best person for them, right? Just like anyone needs to believe that you have the right client, the client really needs to make sure that you are effectively someone they can afford, someone that has the right experience, someone who at sometimes they wish has possibly even worked in the same industry or with similar folks, or has a track record of doing things that they are specifically looking for. And I'll tell you where this kind of comes in, right? If you're serving young upcoming bootstrapped startups, then focus on them and kind of define that as a reference point for your business, right? And that will help clients somewhere understand, saying, hey, these are the kind of people they help. Hence I think their price points may be great. But let's say there's a massive brand like Britannia, they're not your client, right? You'd love to kind of maybe sign them as a client, but at that point when they're saying, hey, we want to work with a creative studio that does illustrations, but we need them to be able to do this. Now, if you have defined yourself really, really well, saying we're a independent illustration thing with illustration studio that does quirky work with so and so, we do very bespoke work, when someone's looking for something like that for a campaign or for a project, you're more likely to be number one, right? Because people kind of know कि ये लोग किस टाइप का काम करते हैं और किसके लिए करते हैं और क्यों करते हैं. So try and figure out what that can be. Third is again internet wala line. Answer the why, right? Answer the why as in, when you figured out what your strength is, you somewhere figured out कि ठीक है, I want people to kind of get an idea, think this is my experience, this is what I've done before, this is who I want to work with. The third question you need to ask is why. Why is the client going to want to buy from me, right? Why am I an able person, or why is my team able to be able to kind of deliver that service or output or objective or demand to that client, right? What are these things that make you that? These again become your strengths, but here you need to kind of ask it in a slightly different manner. So if I were to say, why would a client work with me specifically, I would say because one, I have the experience of having done XYZ brands, but beyond that, as a positioning, I know that founders love getting attention, right? They love the fact that someone in their agency or so and so, if they're working with their startup, is giving them focused attention, right? And third, they want to be able to work with someone who's not kind of a yes man all the time, right? So here are some reasons I listed why I work with founders, right? And why they would want to work with me, because when I'm working with them, I'm not doing another project, right? Which means they know I'm focused. They know that I have nothing else happening for them. They have nothing else happening for myself. And they also somewhere kind of know, saying, hey, with his experience of having done this, this is what he's going to be able to bring, right? Apart from that, just how you are in terms of approaching your clients, whether you share your opinion, you don't share your opinion, basis on the kind of person the client wants to work with, you would either be chosen or be rejected. A lot of times, because of my opinionated behavior, a lot of clients literally ditch, right? A lot of times it's like, hey, we can't let you speak to the founder, you'll need to speak to me, and then I have a manager on top of me, and then there's, if things go and get approved, then we show it to the MD or the CEO or whatever. And I refuse to work that way sometimes, and I'm like, hey, I need everyone's opinions on deck at the same time, and no Chinese whispers. And people just refuse to work with me, even though I may be in one of those shortlists. I just won't get responses. While on the other hand, some of the best fucking clients I've worked with are the ones who've really appreciated this value about myself, right? Saying that this guy goes deep into things, right? That's what we like him about. His pitch to us was highly, valuable. He was opinionated. He wasn't shy of kind of bringing up difficult questions. Now, these are ways I position myself, right? These are ways I bring up my experience. You need to find that why as well, right? What is it about your business model? What is it about your price point? Maybe what is it about the team that you've put together? What is it about the method that you use? It could be any fucking thing, but you need to have a strong why ki yaar mere paas na isliye aayenge. So these are things that I'd like you to somewhere strictly come in down and focus on. I would love to know if you'd like me to talk specifically with any kind of industry or style, because I do need to be vague here, because I don't know who's really watching at the other end. Are you a broadcaster? Are you a designer? Are you a architect? Right? So tell me on the chat. I have something here. I'm a photographer. Hi Gautam. You're a photographer. Excellent. Lovely to meet you. More on why and your style. But what if you are just starting off? How do you get reference points, right? How do you get reference points? Now, let's come back to if you are just starting off, right? Let's go to slide number 1. What are the strengths that you've picked? These are the strengths that I want to play in, right? Basis on those strengths, you then try to find saying, comparatively, as of now, where do I stand? Would I stand amongst the leagues of the elite designers or photographers or so on and so, right? Actually, let me give a reference point to for Gautam. Let's say he's a photographer, right? Now, as a photographer, depending on what his strengths are, let's say his strengths are really good portrait photography, right? So Gautam here is excellent at portraits. I'm gonna lean back, so I'm just gonna push this down a bit. Yeah, frame is good. Okay, so Gautam, let's say, is excellent at portrait photography. He's just out of college, right? And Gautam, I don't know if you're out of college. I'm just assuming, yeah. So let's say he's out of college, right? He's done a couple of shoots for other students. He probably found some friends, put together a basic portfolio, and now says, hey, I'd like to kind of come in and start my own practice, right? And I'm going to kind of start a photography studio, right? Now, if he just says, hey, we're a photo studio, we do weddings, we do product photography, we do e-commerce, we do travel, photography and nature and wildlife photography, we also do fashion, and hire us for this, hire us for that. Now, if that's how he chose to kind of go out, someone landing on his website wouldn't have a reference point to him, right? But let's say he focused on his strengths, which was portraits, and then was somewhere able to say, hey, given that it's my first or second year, right, this is what I want my reference point to be. I would like clients who are young fashion businesses, right, either right out of college, starting their fashion label, or a couple years down the line, independent fashion designers who are, maybe selling on Etsy, right? Young brands that are getting into apparel and t-shirt design, so on and so. Now, you need to try and somewhere figure out for your reference point or the clients that you do aim to get, right? How can you show to them that, one, you will be affordable to them. Second, you can do the kind of work that you do. Third, right, you've done enough of this or a substantial amount of this in the past to be able to gain the confidence that you'll be able to successfully achieve it within that budget, timeline and method, right? I hope that somewhere answers what you do. Versus, now I'm just going to give you another example where it's more of a vague thing where you can reach out to him for anything. Gautam may get leads, but Gautam's going to get a lot of leads which may not be qualified and for a lot of varied things, right? But if he was able to kind of focus it down, get a price point done, speak on his website or on his pages saying, hey, I work with, newborn startups and help them get their photography out. So there's already a reference point somewhere tabulated saying he works with new guys, he works in fashion, right? He works with the faces and models. That's how you start somewhere building reference points. I hope that answered your question, Ankit. I'm not too sure because यार ये chat थोड़ा पढ़ना difficult हो रहा है. I do paintings too. I am an author, architect, designer, photographer. I'm still trying to figure out my USP and why. I feel like I need to do some more work to get to that point. You know what, guys? कुछ fun करें क्या? Let's bring Nitin up. I'm gonna get Nitin online here with me. I'm gonna chat with him and we're gonna do a live figuring out of his USP. Nitin, give me a yes if you are willing to come on my live right now. I'm gonna bring you in. Hey, sorry, not sure if I can come online right now. Oops. What a bummer. No problem, man. I was just gonna send you a link. You can join from your phone. It's gonna be super easy. Would love to have you, but I thought it would just be great to kind of talk you through this to figure out what your USP could be and how you could actually go about positioning it. And I think it would be kind of just great for the audience to kind of see this live. But if there's anyone else who has a similar question to Nitin, which is, hey, I'm still trying to figure out my USP and why, and I feel like I need to do more work before I get that. The thing is, this is something that's such a big question for all of us, right? And the biggest fuck up I did was I thought I was good at everything. I thought I was great at filmmaking because I studied film. I also thought कि मैं UX design में तो kill कर दूंगा because I did UX design for like a month and a half at my previous startup, right? I also thought, oh, we can do web design. I also thought I'm going to be great at social media. The problem is I kind of realized that I started creating a brand that was not known for anything in particular. So people will be like, कुछ भी हाँ ऐसे creative कुछ छोटा मोटा कराना इनके पास चले जाओ, and they thought of us as experts in nothing, right? Because we just weren't able to kind of clearly push and communicate that. And a lot of times, guys, your answers are going to change. What you start off with may not necessarily be what you end up with, right? Look at me. I do branding for clients, right? I wanted to be a Bollywood film director. कहाँ बैठा हूँ, क्या कर रहा हूँ, कैसे आ गया? So changes do happen, but you need to kind of put in a time frame saying, hey, if I'm starting my business now, today till the next 6 months or a year, this is the strength that I have, which I know I can go in, sign clients, make money, pay my bills, right? So I'm guessing that's where you kind of come in, and I'm just going to quickly check sounds again. If anyone wants to quickly join me, has a similar question to what my USPs are, I'd love to bring you on. We can do a quick chat and just discuss. I think that would be really, really fun, right? Now, third, mirror the client's self-image, right? This is very, very critical, and this is something I used to do subconsciously, which really helped me sign some clients early on in the beginning, right? What does mirror the client's self-image means? Now, if you want to work with real estate tycoons and like financial guys, really serious, so on and so forth, your website, your positioning, your LinkedIn posts need to somewhere speak that language which they can relate to, right? You need to present yourself as the client's self-image, right? So you do want to kind of have content that's more focused to real estate. You do want to kind of have your tonality slightly more serious, more number centric. If you're working with kind of like deep tech, fintech, accountants, investors, you really want to bring that professionalism, and you do want to kind of use your words wisely because there's a lot of legality involved. Versus, let's say you're a designer who wants to work with really quirky startups, right? Do you think that same approach would work? What if you were formal, and what if you were just generic? A lot of these young startups would just not see themselves in you. They wouldn't feel that you'd be the right designer for them. So because you somewhere need to also attract your tribe, you need to kind of understand who is it, on what are the kind of clients that you do want to attract, and also present that self-image, or be able to reflect to the client that, hey, I think we get each other, there's synergy, right? A lot of this would happen through the copy that I would write, right? I would write copy on our contact page saying, we work Monday to Saturday, but if you're going to reach us on Sunday, then bring beers, so it was just kind of a very startup copywriting thing that happened. And a lot of people kind of, after they'd sign on saying, hey, we absolutely love the copy on your website, or, we really kind of like this. And they were somewhere able to see that, hey, you know what? I think Vanshaj would be a great fit if he was to work on our startup. I think his company would be great if we kind of just collaborated, because I think the vibe somewhere matches, right? So you need to find who those clients are for yourself. I'm just checking. I personally need your advice and guidance to launch my creative business online. We have Aneet. Aneet, I don't know what your creative business is. I would love to help you. Would you be willing to come online on my show? Tell me, give me a yes, right? And what I'm going to do is, if you can if you can just send me an email, right? I mean, if you say yes and send me an email, what I'll do is I'll send you a quick link for you to be able to quickly join me, and then we can talk about your business. How does that sound? Right here, right now, right? Now, coming to my third and fourth point, which is be honest, right? I see a lot of people kind of over bragging themselves and like kind of overtly, boasting about themselves and positioning themselves. Now, a lot of people can read through that too, right? You do want to be honest. You do want to be upfront to your client and say, hey, I have very little experience with this, but I know I can do this for you, right? That honesty just helps kind of, form this bond and trust, versus someone who's boastful or is kind of flying through his nose. You usually would get caught, and it just leaves a very uncomfortable vibe with most people that view you, because they just see you as this bigoted asshole, right? So be absolutely honest and upfront to your clients about your limitations, right? Be upfront and honest to them about your experience, right? What resources you have, and be absolutely honest about how you want to kind of achieve this for them, right? This transparency really kind of also helps people build a certain relationship with you. And a lot of times this happens right on your website, right? Just how you choose to describe yourself says a lot about you, and the client is somewhere able to piece in his mind saying, hey, I think someone or a company that speaks like this is possibly someone I'd like to work with, right? So here are some things that you could kind of keep in mind. Then communicate your position and value upfront, right? What do I mean by that? Now, let's say you're a creative branding agency, right? Your value is to be able to story tell. Your value is to be able to understand fundamentals of communication. Your value is to be able to understand customers really well. Your value is to be able to, crack an entire company's messaging into one, right? Your value is you being able to figure out what the visual design system and so on and so will be. But more than that, I think what is important is for you to be able to communicate that up front, right? What do I mean by that? What do I mean when you say communicate your value up front, right? Communicate your position up front, which means while you're taking client calls, while you're speaking to new leads, you want to tell them what you do, who is it that you do for, and a lot of times you may have to kind of, say no to the client, and that's absolutely fine, right? A lot of times you need to be able to understand what is the impact that your work is going to make to the client, and that essentially is your value. Why should you communicate it upfront, and why should you tell the client who you work for, what you do? Because it bases a sense of filter, right? If the client, on the other hand, does not feel like he is getting that value from you, you're not going to be the right relationship, right? If you go down the path of comparing yourself, or getting a lowball offer and kind of saying, oh, but I do this and so on and so forth, don't do that. Communicate your value, tell them why you do it, who you've done it for, how you've been able to achieve results, and if they don't get it, it's fine. You need to let them go and realize that you are not positioned to be able to take those clients, and have the humility to understand why that client may or may not have left you, right? It could be because of budget, it could be because of your experience, it could just be because of the overall vibe, it could be because of timelines, it could be because of multiple things. You want to be able to get these clear with people. This also will over time help you understand what are the expectations from most clients. So if you have some terms, or you've positioned yourself in a stringent way where you're not flexible enough to move it, you will start realizing it sooner or later and be able to kind of mold your positioning and kind of your value proposition to further get you better leads. And you'll also be able to kind of really filter out the shit clients, right? So that's something that you need to do very early on during your calls, and kind of gauge saying how many people actually are responding to this positioning, right? मैंने positioning तो कर दिया कि oh, I will work with startup founders who are super young, 21 to 22, help them do so and so and so, and kind of come in, charge this. कितने लोगों को actually वैसे type का service चाहिए, या how many people think there's value in being able to get it with that method. So communicating it upfront and letting people know of your position will help you weed out the shit, and will help you better and polish your positioning as you sign new clients, right? Vanshaj, you can add Aneet as a speaker to the stream if you'd like. If you want to share a link via email, you can do that as well. Aneet, would you be so kind enough to write me an email, or how do I find your email? Can I? Is it easy to I think I should be, right? I should be able to find Aneet's email. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly have a link that I'm gonna create for Aneet to join. Right, I have this link, and if I could just email this to someone, would that be something that someone from Creator could just Um, Vivan, if you're watching this, I've just sent you a link on your email. If you would be so kind enough to just pass that over to Aneet, and then I'll try to bring her up on our show, and we're kind of going to discuss and take a couple of questions, right? I think this should be fun. Vivan, if you're watching this, it's on your email. If you could just have that forwarded. What I'm going to do next time is I'm going to look at all my club members and see their email and see if I can actually, you know what? I have the CSV, so let me just see if I can find. Oops, I am unable to find her email ID, but if someone can just forward it to her, she can just hop on and join that link. And okay, I'm just gonna send that to Vignesh so that Vignesh can bring on my guest. I think for my next session, guys, I'm gonna make sure I have a better system to do this. I'm gonna find I'm gonna design a web page where you can kind of, you know, just come in and log in, and I'm gonna give you like a password of sorts, right, so that only that user comes in and joins the stream. But for now, Aneet, in fact, I found your email, so Aneet, I'm just sending you a link myself. Welcome to the show. So it's a quick link. I just want you to click on it, and that should open up a little player. Give yourself, you know, allow your webcam and allow your microphone, and you'll be in with me. I'll see you soon. All right. Now moving on to my next client, right? Step 7, if you were the client. This essentially kind of came in as a marketing question to understand, saying, how do you market your product or your service as a creative when you're just starting off, right? And the immediate thing that people kind of run to is social media kar yaar, reels bana, reels. And I'm like, hold on, think, wait, right? Stop creating tons of shitty content. ऐसा वो square में, you know, quotation डाल के post डालना बंद करो, उससे कुछ हो नहीं रहा है. Really figure out कि when you are the client, right? Let's say I'm a fashion photographer, I'm a fashion founder, right? Who's looking for a photographer to hire. What are the things that I'm going to look for first, right? What are the routes I'm more likely to take in order for me to, you know, find the right photographer? I may ask around in my network. I may ask other fashion founders saying, hey, who shot your campaign? Can you connect me with that person too? Right? I'm going to go look online, right? I'm possibly going to look and type on Google photographers, fashion, Bangalore, something, yada, 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 right? But the thing is that I could also possibly go to Instagram in such and such a scenario and be like, hey, are there any photographers here that I could kind of look for, find, so on and so. Would I go to LinkedIn, right, to find myself a photographer? Even though I'm a founder, I'm on LinkedIn, right? Everyone's on you know, LinkedIn. There are other businesses, but would I be looking for a photographer there? So question to ask yourself, versus what if the photographer was, you know, not searchable with Google, is not essentially you know, has the money to kind of run ads. By the way, no photographer should be running ads. It's absolutely stupid. I think with skills like photography, so and so, people are looking to come and find find you rather than you kind of advertising to them, because it's always and most likely going to be an impulse decision when they kind of click on an ad and move forward. So until and unless you know that the client is aligned to making a decision or wants that service, it just makes no sense kind of communicating to them at that point. So the same fashion founder, if he received an email when he wasn't looking to do a campaign, he's more or less likely to not respond, right? So what do you do in such and such a scenario, right? What if you don't know kisko chahiye, kisko nahi chahiye? What if your SEO is just not up to the mark? Where can you really start, right? I would say start by engaging, right? Here's something I would do, and it actually helped me score clients very early on, right? One, I would try and say, hey, how can I get into the recommended referral circle, right? Because I knew that my website's not going to rank on top, and that's where I need to be. For most creatives, you need to be on the top of Google, right? Because that's why people are searching for digital marketing agencies, they're searching for Illustrator. Nobody is going on Instagram looking at hashtags and then seeing, is it going to be available? Is he available? Yeah. And if your video is a problem, you can just mute your video. We'll have audio, no problem at all, right? So no trouble there at all. Don't worry about it. We can just have audio for you, no problem. So come on over. And anyways, now coming back, so what did I do at that point, right? What was it that helped me get those referral points, and how could I convince people? Now here's what I started doing. I started doing bits of free consulting and free work with founders that I wanted to work with, right, in exchange for them recommending me to 20 others. So the first one I started with was my ex-boss, right? She needed this landing page done of sorts, and I was like, hey, I'll do it, and I'll do it super cheap, or I'll do it at a throwaway, no cost. But in order for me to do this, you're going to have to kind of come in and make sure that you recommend me to 20 other clients, right? And she did that. So I exchanged services very specifically for referrals, right, with clients that I knew had the reach. I scored some really big clients through that. I did a film with Carrot Lane because Priyanka, the CEO of Wishberry then, had her angel investor who was the CEO of Carrot Lane, and she wrote him an email, and one thing led to the other, and I got a project out of it, right? The work that the landing page was for was maybe 5,000, 10,000 rupees, really quick. This is back in the day. But the film that I signed with Carrot Lane was like 100x. So here are, hacks that you can do where you need to figure out, how do I really drive down the whole idea that, I'm going to find those referrals for myself, right? Just give me a quick second, guys. I think we have Annette here, and I'm just gonna try and see if that is indeed true. And let's see if we can bring her on really quickly. Hey Annette, can I hear you?
Hi. Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. I hear you, and I hear there's some trouble with your video. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna have your audio in, and I hope that's All right. So thank you so much for joining me here. And I see I'm kind of really going over time and blabbering a lot, but thank you for being here. How can I help?
Yeah, that was my question. So, um, I'm just growing a new debut author. So, I wanted to launch my creative business online because I do paintings too, and I want to take it to the next level. And I want to make money out of my passion. So,
Excellent. Thanks, Anit. So, if I'm correct, you're an author, right?
yeah,
So, you're an author, but you also do paintings,
yeah.
and you want help with your creative business. So, now out of these two, Anit, what would you say is your strength? Is your strength painting or is your strength writing?
I mean, I cannot categorize like that. Actually, I'm equally strong in both. In fact, I have a list of passion. This is only, I just wanted to go one by one. So I've just chosen these two first. And next, I'll go to photography. And then it goes on.
So that's exactly why I was doing my session today, right? That we have 20 things that we want to do, but sometimes trying to do all of them, saying, hey, I could get a client for writing also, I could also get a client for painting, and then my third one maybe could be, photography because I'm pretty good at it too. The thing is, I did exactly this, thinking I can do 20 things, and fortunately for me, my business did not shut down, right? We were able to do this for 5 years, have a massive outbreak of not knowing what exactly we do and what should clients know us for. And, we kind of went into this massive, downfall. And I remember there was this really bad period. And then the only way we came out of it was when we kind of started focusing on who we wanted to be. Because I'll tell you what will happen, Aneet. I want to know that Aneet is a great writer, right? Now, if I know that and you establish yourself as a copywriter, you further go down and say, okay, who do I write for? What kind of copy do I write? Do I write copy for technology? Do I write copy for, jokes or for comedians? Do I write, books for so and so? Can I help with white papers? You need to further within the sphere of writing itself narrow down and come down to your positioning, because the thing is, your early days are always going to be slow. You aren't going to get as many clients and leads as you'd like to have. But if you take the time to develop your presence in that field, you're already really good at it, right? All you need to do is stick to it and let all the other people know that you're really good at it too. Because then when I have worked with you and I go and tell my friends saying, oh, you're looking for copy, I think you should go to Aneet, right? But if while I was working with you, you're like, yeah, we do art also, and then I can do photography also, you're not the first person that's going to come in my mind, because you do a bunch of things. Versus if someone's specifically looking for a writer who can help him solve a certain problem, that person is not going to be you, right?
I
And that's
got it.
not what you want, right?
I got
Same
it.
thing is with
Yeah.
photography. You want to specialize in one thing, because when there is a problem to be solved with photography in that specific thing, because you've made a presence felt and have positioned yourself to do portrait photographies for young fashion startups, right? Every young new fashion startup is going to be like, let me go to Aneet because yaar, she does it for young startups and I think uska budget bhi theek rahega. That's your reference point, right? Uska budget bhi theek
Okay.
rahega. She has experience with doing this. I think she'll also be able to guide us because she's worked with multiple other young startups. So the value overall with you positioning yourself has increased manifold, right? I hope that
Okay.
helped you realize why you need to position. It's hard
Yeah,
to
that's
not
true.
do things, but I think that's what
Okay.
focus is. And I hope you find what that one strength for you is, and then you kind of go bang in,
Mm.
right?
But then what I thought was, just for one thing, is it a good idea to, create a website only for my books? Or I thought, let me introduce, um, my activities should be like in two, three genres. I thought that will be good.
Why? I want to know, because then I land on your website. I'm like, oh, she writes and she also does some photography. Oh, and she also does this. I don't know what you really, really do. I don't know what to recommend you forward for, right?
Okay.
So let's say you have two businesses. Like, today I run a pickle company. I run this company called Homemade Love on the side, but this is 7 years after I focused on my earlier business, and now I'm like, hey, I think I want to have a business that's also product, right? But that's a completely
Mm-hmm.
separate entity. It has its own website positioning, so and so, and you will be able to add those to yourself once you've gained enough expertise in the first one, right? So if you, let's
Okay.
say, are writing books and you publish books online, I would say go deep into it, right? Start creating content about the kind of stuff you write about. Talk to other people so that every time people are hearing about you, seeing you on LinkedIn, they're like, oh, she's talking about something, or she's talking about, her next book, or she's talking about writing, or she's talking about some character, right? That way I know that you're a storyteller. This is the kind of books you write. So you develop that brand for yourself within that genre, right? But
Yeah, got
if
it.
you dilute it, तो फिर पता ही नहीं चलेगा कौन क्या कर रहा है.
Okay, got it.
Great. So
Thanks,
I hope
Vansh.
you find that, and thank you so much, Anit, for connecting with me. Thank you so much for coming online. It was great having you on the show. Take care, and I'm going to now move on to my
Take care.
last
Nice
slide,
meeting you too.
right? Which is
Yeah.
be open to change, right? So I'll see you then, Anit. And this is the
Thank
last
you.
point, guys. Be open to change, right? Um, like I said, a lot of times you may not crack the positioning right. So you do need to slowly be able to modify and find where the strength is. For me, it took me quite a while to realize that branding companies and consulting founders on how to craft and take forward their, you know, brand at a strategic level was very, very valuable. And a lot of founders would spend hours and hours talking to me about it, right? Hence, filmmaking took a backseat in my life, unfortunately. Like, I must cry, but filmmaking was something I was truly passionate about, right? Like, I mean, I would bunk, you know, school to go make films. I made my first film in the 10th standard. I crowdfunded about 1.5 lakhs. I raised that in my 4th year of college to fund my short feature length film, He Who Chased the Train. Shameless plug-in, but ज़्यादा फिल्म काम किया नहीं है तो बताना पड़ता है. But the thing is, I had to somewhere leave it behind because I soon realized that it wasn't the strength of my company and me, and we weren't going to excel at it, right? Versus as we did more and more of branding, we realized that if we just did that and became really good at it, people would just know us as the guys who, completely come in and revamp your brand and help you communicate. And it's just helped us in the last 2 years grow from pillar to pillar. So I hope you all kind of become open to that change, keep modifying your positioning, streamlining it, more focus, more, streamline, filter out the crap, right? Understand that there are 7 billion people and you don't need everyone to be your client. So it's okay to piss a few people off. It's okay to kind of, take your time to do this. But be smart about it and take one thing and just go fucking excel at it, right? Just go drive that fucking nail into the wall. Anyway, I think this is going to be the end of my session. I apologize to Creator for doing another 1 hour long session, although I had promised them 35 minutes karenge, but mera baat hota hi nahi hai. So, it's quiz time, guys. How many of you have signed up? Right? We're going to do a quick quiz on Slido. So everyone gather around, get on to Slido, right? We're going to quickly see how many people have signed up. We have 25 people who've signed up. Thanks everyone. Are you ready for today's quiz? Right, so give me a yes, yes, no, no. कुछ तो बोलो chat पे ताकि हम शुरू करें. And we will then begin the quiz in just about a minute or so, right? Till then, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some music going, guys. Waiting for people to join if they are. All right, all right. Everyone go down to slido.com. There's a blue band. Type the event code bold. Event code is bold, right? So we have 25 people and I am ready to begin with my first question, right? Give me some fire, give me some comments to tell me that you're all ready to go, guys. Give me something. Kuch to de do mujhe. Right? Nothing on the comments yet. I say Vignesh says yes, yes, let go, let go. Alright. So first question coming up. First question. Kya hai? What year was Min Yoongi from South Korea boy band BTS born in? Let's see your answers. We have 15 seconds. Let's see what everyone here is going to answer. This is going to be absolutely random. Like I said, it's not connected to this session. Because my positioning ka kya question puchu? You know, I sat on it for like half an hour thinking, yaar, last one was fun. But then I was like, why not do an absolutely random, you know, this one. So here are the results, right? 22% said 1995, right? 6% said 93, 92 and 94. So let's look at the correct answer. 1993. Everyone got that wrong. Next question. Which of the following blood vessels carries deoxygenated blood? Who remembers 10th standard bio class? Huh? Never thought this question could come up, no? Well, it just did. So, coronary artery, pulmonary artery, aorta or pulmonary vein? Which of the following blood vessels carries deoxygenated blood? Right? And we see that 25% of people put in pulmonary artery and about 15% put in pulmonary vein. Let's look at what the right answer is. And the right answer is pulmonary artery. Great, guys. And the next question. In the hexadecimal system, what number comes after 9? How many of you know what the hexadecimal system is? Jhoot mat bolo. I just love these questions, right? This is why I do live streams. I think you just fucking do random shit and see how many people are having fun with it. I see a lot of people typing in, or not typing in, but just like figuring out what question to type in. So let's see how people have answered. And the letter A, 21%. Number 10, 11%. And the correct answer is the letter A. In the hexadecimal system, what number comes after 9? Next, Nidhogh or Nidhogg is a mythical creature from what mythology? I feel like I'm Amitabh Bachchan from KBC, you know? Like, इनके answers मुझे भी नहीं पता है. So let's see. We have Hindu, we have Norse, we have Greek, and we have the Egyptian. I think a lot of people have stopped answering. Right? Are you guys pissed at me for these random questions? I told you guys it's a completely random quiz. Should have believed me. Right? And Norse has 26%, and let's see what the right answer is. And it is indeed the Norse mythology. Moving on to the next question. Who likes animated films? Which city did Anger berate for ruining pizza in Inside Out? Inside Out, the movie, right? Where you have these little characters of emotions in your brain. So let's see what the options are. California, San Francisco, Washington and Minnesota. Let's see what the answers are going to be like in another 3, 2, 1, and on your screen. San Francisco 26%, and that is the correct answer, guys. Last and final question. Quick question. Let's see how many of you get this right. The next question is a millennium. A millennium is a real number. I can't even pronounce that. A millennium. False, true, false. Million. All right, and oops, why is this not showing me? So let's look at what the results are. And the correct answer is true. A millennium is a real number. I'm gonna get back to you on how many zeros there are in it, but let's see who the winner for today's quiz is. Are you ready to see who the winner is? Give it up, guys, and I'm gonna pump up the music. The photographer, Gautam, great job. We have 1995. So 1995, congratulations. And then Pratya and Tarun, great job for coming in 4th and 5th. Thank you everyone for doing this. Thank you so much. Great fun. I want to quickly ask you a question before I leave. So all of you on Slido or wherever you're watching this stream from, head on over to slido.com or on to my creator session. Tell me, what would you like to discuss next week? Punch in your answers here so I have that as feedback, and I'd absolutely love to know what would you like to discuss next week. So put that in on Slido, and let's go back to our stream. So, Q&A. What is Q&A? Questions and answers. Anyone has questions that I must answer? No questions as of now. Let me see and wait on chat or on Slido if something kind of comes up. Right, and I think the questions by the end of an hour-long stream are usually done. So I'm going to put this slide maybe earlier for the next week and get on with that. But everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I'd like you to follow me. Go to our agency website, theboldcreative.com. Check out my work, what I do, how I do it. You want to get me on Instagram, LinkedIn, that's my handle. Find me there. And thank you so much for having me and joining in. And this is a pleasure, man. This is absolutely fun. I just love speaking one way to a lot of people. So thank you, everyone. And before we go, I'd like all of you to see something that I worked on very recently, the Film for Creator Club. Have a look, and right after the film, that's me signing off, and ciao.
Look at all these amazing people. Finance gurus, marketing gurus, life gurus, artists, stock traders, designers. The world is exploding with amazing people doing amazing things. So what did my friends at Creator Club do about that? They went and stalked all of them and invited these creators and mentors to host live streams where they share their experiences and knowledge with you, from branding to stocks or even business to design. And once you tune in, they're not going to ask you to hit subscribe, like, comment, share. No, they're just going to invite you to join their club. So what happens inside the club? You see, matching algorithms help you connect with other like-minded folks in the community.
Your business is not important. Your brand is.
Wait. Have you ever wanted to spend some exclusive one-on-one time with these content creators and mentors? You can do this by buying tokens. Think of them as tickets that can be bought by placing a bid at a live auction. And once you get your hands on one of these, you can use it to get exclusive access to one-on-ones, AMAs, private groups, and much more. Now let's say you don't redeem these tokens. That's okay. You can sell them. Yeah. These tokens, they're limited. Which means if someone else wants exclusive access to these creators and mentors, just sell it to them. Like this. Now this is the future of social professional networks, where mentors, creators, and you grow together. You're invited.